The Lot in Words is Michael Leunig, a committed humanist presenting his perspective on the world as it was, as it is, and how it should be. He characterizes the world around us in terms of spirituality, truth, ignorance, and lies. He decries the modern world for failing to take advantage of the rise of science and philosophy and living in a false state of bliss. Instead, he presents a modern existence that has no reality or truth, facilitating a world of deception. By contrasting humanity with nature, he presents an analysis of Machiavellian politicking, egotistic advertising, fundamentalist spirituality, and social propaganda against the beauty of the simple ways and security of the past. His arguments are original and unpredictable in their structure and content. A major theme is his distrust and criticism of violence and war. He describes the whole bitter, cruel tragedy of Palestine and Israel, which increasingly appears to be a crazed fight to the death. He calls the Vietnam War and the conscription of young men on the fall of a marble barbaric, describing the young soldiers as relegated to the business of violence and blood and guts by the signing of a golden pen. He considers politicians who order wars as the uninitiated man, the most irresponsible, incompetent and destructive force on earth. For Leunig, the militaristic slogan, "Kill the bastard," is a vital component of the collective homicidal wish that underlines militarism. War is destructive to all concerned, and Leunig believes the victors and the vanquished are equally ruined by war. In time we are all poisoned. The evils of conflict and colonisation are put forward with vivid wording as Leunig enlightens the reader about the peace and spirituality of Australia's first inhabitants. He believes we have much to learn from their innate spirituality and close ties to nature. He admires David Malagi, who tours Australia talking of the need for Yoro Yoro, the spirit in the land that makes everything stand up alive. Leunig states, "With Yoro Yoro you don't need a flag." He condemns the indifference, viciousness and cruelty shown towards Indigenous Australians, particularly the Wallagi tribe who were taken to a concentration camp so the British could detonate 9 atomic bombs on their sacred sites. He describes a trip to explore the Western Desert Aboriginal paintings which frequently depict concentric circles with interconnecting lines of the dream tracks of mythological creators of the land. Mystically, he relates, the desert has always been a place of prophetic vision, of purification, of mirage and hallucination. If only we would allow ourselves to experience these visions, we would wander in concentric circles and hopefully stumble along dreaming tracks of our own making. Leunig admires art as a source of truth and beauty. He refers to the beauty of Arthur Boyd's colourful and authentic paintings. The writer J.D. Salinger's well-known protagonist Holden Caulfield is applauded for recognising the phonies surrounding him. Leunig believes modern society is inherently dissatisfied. He references Bono's song, "I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For," as a psalm of yearning, which reminds us how the frustration and personal emptiness of modern humanity has been perversely elevated to the realm of romantic and heroic virtue. Leunig believes people are led to believe appearance is all important in order for them to be loved. He admires Holden Caulfield's insightful idea that education produces two states, grinning depressives by the truckload, or the Shakespearean ideal, to thine own self be true. He calls consumerism the great tyrant. He deplores the image of the great tyrant on billboards and laments that there is no refuge from the dictator's dire commandment, "Thou shalt be attractive." Michael wants an intelligent and peaceful future for Australia. He wants Australia to continually embrace and enjoy its glorious detail and diversity. In his struggle with deception, he writes of the mateship between George Bush and John Howard, calling mateship a weasel word of war. He uncovers John Howard's reasoning in wishing to present himself as a friend of all social strata, so he will be trusted, but believes he is no such man. He's from the Silvertail tribe and everyone knows it. His most vivid condemnations of modern society include a world that increasingly mocks truth and holds it in fierce contempt. He also believes, now satire without values is the toast of town. And finally, one part of humanity seeks to heal the planet, another part seeks to burn it up and ruin it, just as one man calls for justice and mercy, and the other man calls hatefully for death. Leunig admires the beauty of nature and considers it a source of peace, spirituality and renewal. He describes a heaven full of stars in the desert as a million fiery blazing crystals shimmering ecstatically and radiating an exquisite and sacred energy. He values the Australian landscape, believing the country gets to you, so magic and volatile is its rugged beauty, so hypnotic and gentle and strong in spirit. He extols its attractions, explaining, "This dry, unforgiving land creates a well of forgiveness in those who surrender to it, and a knot of callous stupidity in those who resist." Nature offers life and renewal of the body and spirit. He relates, "As the sun rose, my soul opened like an exotic desert flower, and the night air is alive and fragrant, flows up from the bush straight through the skin and into the blood." Leunig believes the sane world longs for nature. With a touch of his famous humour, he relates, "We may well be hurtling through space on a huge overheated loony bin, but be thankful for small mercies. The birds in the trees are still completely sane. I know this because I heard them singing this morning."